is another day of litmus. As you can see, the shelves are, I don't think you can see well. A lot of them, it's down low. There's a lot of emptying happening. You know, there's a lot of preparations for the new year that happen to these shelves. So in some of these videos, they're gonna be a bit of a mess. I also have children outside of my door, so you might hear some other conversation. Enjoy. So today we are beginning a new project, challenge, fire under my ass. And that is, these books will self-destruct in 1 year. So today, I believe, is December 13th. Oh, spooky. I have curated a list of 50 books that, if I do not read them in 2023, they will be unhauled at the end of the year, unhaul then. Some of these books are, dear God, I need to read these. These are some of my favorite authors and I need to get to them. Other ones are, I went onto Book Outlet, went into my history all the way to my very first order and then worked my way up and found all these books that I have owned since I guess early 2020 is when I was first purchasing. No, that can't be right. I was definitely buying books from Book Outlet a long time from that. At least 2019 is when I really started. I don't know. But that's as far as the records went back on Book Outlet. That might be the first time I made an account. I think I did guest checkouts before then. That might be it. Anyway, so I went back to those little historical documents, if you will, and found about a bunch of books that I have owned forever. And you know what? If I don't read them through next year, they gone. This is different from the 23 of 2023 because I haven't decided those yet as of this video. Those are the books that are not necessarily to be unhauled at the end of the year. They are just a challenge to get through those books. And if I do, there is a reward at the end of that tunnel. There is a punishment at the end of this tunnel. There are 2 tunnels that live inside you. This is where they go. So I'm gonna show you what these self-destructing books are. Let's take a look. So the first one, again, these are not in any order. They're a pile on my couch right now. There's a lot of shifting happening here. So you get Chaos Q, which will make sense later. Okay, anyway, book number 1 is The Cold is in Her Bones by Peter Nell van Arsdale. I'm so sorry. I can pronounce all the Japanese names no problem. You give me some kind of Germanic language or romantic language, I'm done. I can't do it, apparently. I believe this has a bit of a Gothic retelling to it. I don't remember. I really don't remember, but this was one of the early Book Outlet buys. We have Empress of a Thousand Skies by Rhoda Baliza. This is a sci-fi. A Totally Awkward Love Story by Tom Ellen and Lucy Iveson. I want to say Iveson. Contemporary romance, very short as well. Shadowrun by Adrienne Strickland and Michael Miller, which is another sci-fi in a space prison, I believe. Notes from My Captivity by Kathy Parks, which I want to read this. It sounds really, really good. This one is Light a Fire Under My Butt. We've got Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. This is one of my earliest owl crates. So, gotta read that, baby. The Smoke Thieves by Sally Green. I find I do like Sally Green's Half Bad trilogy, so I'm hoping I like this. This feels very different. It is a chunker. Definitely need to get to it. Field Notes on Love by Jennifer E. Smith, another older one from that. We also have a series that I'm actually in the middle of. No, literally, if I read this book, that is This Cruel Design by Emily Suvada. I read This Mortal Coil earlier this year, and I did enjoy it, but this was one of the oldest Book Outlet purchases, so gotta put it on the list. The Boy and Girl Who Broke the World by Amy Reed was actually from the very first purchase order on my Book Outlet account. That is The Bone Garden by Heather Kastner. This is a middle grade, spooky middle grade. Another very, very old owl crate that I need to read or it's going away. This is the light of fire under my butt. Speaking of fire, we have Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Young. I want to say, is that how you actually pronounce it? I'm trying really hard. It's one I'm not a good one. I think it's Young, but it might be something else. I apologize, but I'm trying. The Disappearances by Emily Bain Murphy. This is actually one of my earliest Second and Charles buys, and that's just because I remember buying this one. I don't always remember my Second and Charles buys, but that's one I definitely remember getting from Second and Charles. What the Woods Keep by Katya de Becerra. Becerra? I don't know. Again, owned it very long time. Next up, again, another book outlet wine. Driving by Starlight by Anat Derasin. Have owned forever. This one has been on several TBRs in the past before I started doing TBR game and just did not get to it. And that is Lifestyles of Gods and Monsters by Emily Roberson. I believe it's Ariadne. Is it Ariadne? It is Ariadne, so you would think I would have read this already because I love Ariadne stories. Have another book outlet one, that is La Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbe. I've heard great things about this, just haven't gotten it because it's that historical fiction in the time period I don't like to read too much about, and it's gonna make me sad, and I don't wanna be sad, so it gets one shot this year to make me sad. Sanctuary by Karen Lix. This isn't the one on... See, this one and Shadowrun, I'm like, which one's the one on the prison? Wait, is this the one on the space prison? This is the space prison, not Shadowrun. Shadowrun is the princess or something. A prince on the run thing. On a Shadowrun, I don't remember. But there you go. We also have a very, very famous book, but I've not read because I know what it's about. I am a little bit triggered by it, but it's a classic one that I need to read. And that is Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson, because it deals with sexual assault. It's a little bit triggering for me. Next up, so I actually bought this book this year. However, this is a situation where I bought the third book in the series before, and it took me forever to find the first book in the series. But that is The City Sun by Tom Pollock. So I am putting it on this, even though I did buy it this year. It's more like the series. So if I don't like the first book, then I'm not going to continue forward. But that's why that's on here. And then another book outlet is The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson. Pretty bird. Look, it's a pretty birdie. You see the pretty birdie? What do you think? Huh. Ha! Good God, y'all. We got The Taming of the Shrew by Stephanie Kate Strom. This is a Taming of the Shrew retelling. I do like, that's one of my top Shakespeare plays, but I have not read this one yet. We're gonna get to it. In the Woods by Carrie Jones. I think this was the one I was looking for last year. It was that one or I Stopped Somewhere, which I found both of them now, that I think I was supposed to unhaul last year and I didn't get a chance to, but it gets to have another life here. The Antidote by Shelly Sakier. Beautiful. This was a cover by. And then I talked about this one in a video last month, and that is A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. I talked about this one in my November TBR because I have an issue with the drawing of the chin. The chin on this one is just, it's weird, right? It's weird. They're weird. It's drawn weird and it weirds me out, but I'm going to give it a chance this year, this upcoming year. It gets one more shot, one more year to survive. Next up, again, I bought the sequel before and did not know there it was a sequel, so I didn't have the first book. I did get it this year. That is Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. This is going to be a cute contemporary. Then we have another Second and Charles buy, and that is Gather the Daughters by Jenny Melamed. I bought this the same time as The Disappearances. I actually have a third book, but I got at the same time that I didn't put on the bomb list, but I must have just forgotten about it, but that one gets to live as well for now. Rules for Vanishing by Kate Alice Marshall. I do think of the mystery stuff, I do think I'll probably like this one, but haven't done that yet. Then we have I Stopped Somewhere. I found it. I think maybe it was this one that I was looking for. I don't remember. They're both very similar sounding books to me, In the Woods and I Stopped Somewhere, in vibe terms, but this one you get one shot, one more shot. We also have Beware the Night by Jessica Fleck, and I think, is this a Beauty and the Beast? I don't remember what the Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's something Where were you? Were you on? It was on the retelling shelf. I'm pretty sure it was on that shelf. I don't remember. A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. And I feel like I really do need to read these because she has come to Mile High Con many a year and I just never read the books. I think, and you know, it's dragons and stuff. So yeah, let's read that. Then we have Let's Call It a Doomsday by Katie Henry. I have read Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. I did unhaul it. So this is kind of giving Katie Henry one more shot. I didn't hate Heretics Anonymous. Thought it was fine, but it wasn't the great. Suggested Reading by Dave Connis, another book outlet buy from many a year ago. Next up, we have The Story That Cannot Be Told by J. Casper Kramer. I actually know this author's husband because we both lived in Japan and I met him during the J Vlogger meetup in Tokyo. So I feel bad that this is on the list, but it is because it was a book outlet buy and I didn't realize that his wife was a writer. And yeah, then weird stuff. The Accidental Beauty Queen by Terry Wilson. Contemporary fun times, but have owned forever. The Hawkweed Prophecy by Irina Brignall. I don't think this is a retelling. I don't think it was. I was thinking it was, but no, it wasn't on that shelf. The Cavendish Home for Boys and Girls by Claire Legrand. I did unhaul the Claire Legrand, Sawkill Girls. I've also unhauled, I think she wrote Furyborn as well, which I've also unhauled, but we're gonna give her middle grade a shot. We've then got a Bridget Kemmerer, which is Letters to the Lost, and that is because the sequel, what is the sequel? I forget it. There's a sequel to this that I got a long time ago. More Than We Can Tell. More Than We Can Tell, that's what it is. And I didn't realize it was a sequel to Letters to the Lost. So I do think this is gonna be a sad book though. We've got Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. I do think I'm gonna like this fun series. Just haven't gotten to it. And it's been on the book outlet issue thing-majig. The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. Also have owned I've heard amazing things about this series. Here's the fire, put it under my butt. Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. Again, this one actually I know my sister and my dad also really like, so here's hoping that I like it as well. But again, bought it on book outlet years ago. Black Wings Beating by Alex London. I've heard great things about it. Fire under butt. How many times can I tell you about a fire under my butt? This one has almost been unhauled several times. I am giving it one more shot because Fee really liked it, but that is Stain by A.G. Howard. I believe this is also a Goose Girl retelling. It is a chonker, and I know I don't have an audiobook for it, which is why I just haven't gotten to it, but I also did not really care for the Splintered trilogy that A.G. Howard wrote. So I also unhauled Roseblood, which was her Phantom of the Opera retelling. So I am not sure. Now Fee says this is really good. So Fee, this is on you. Then we have Tales of the Slayer. This is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer short story collection. This is volumes 1 and 2 combined. And I've owned it forever. This was a book outlet find. 1,000 Beginnings and Ending by Ellen O and Elsie Chapman. It's edited by them. This is a collection. It's by a ton of authors. They are all Asian-inspired myths and legends. 15 retellings of Asian myths and legends. It says it right on the cover. I definitely want to read these. Now, this was also a book outlet one. It is by an author that I absolutely love, so I need to read this. I don't want to unhaul this, but that is The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. And I have to get on it because I am scared to unhaul this one. I am scared of it. All but one of these is a book outlet, but we have Girl, Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Bashir-Doost. I also get confused because there's the book called Boy, Snow, Bird, I think, and they have nothing, they're not the same authors, but very similar covers and very similar titles. Weird stuff there, but yes. Another one, this was also one of the first book outlet buys, is Because You Love to Hate Me, edited by Emery. This is 13 Tales of Villainy. Here is all of the authors listed on the back cover who contributed to this book. Then we have two ones that I'm also very scared because I need to do these. I should have, there's no reason for these to be in this other than I'm lazy. And that is A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. Again, so this is a sequel I read A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I loved A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I don't know what it was that couldn't get me to read the sequel, and I need to get in it because I'm kind of forgetting what happened in the first one. So we need to do this, and we need to finish the whole series to be real. But this was a book outlet order, and that's why it's there. The last one I have is, again, it's not a book outlet order, but I need to read this because I love her writing, and people praise this book. I just hate this cover, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I hate this cover so much. It looks so poorly photoshopped. I hate it. I love the new cover design that they have. I would love if I could get my hands on those, but I hate these covers so much. So much. It just looks so poorly done, in my opinion. So there you go. And there we have it. That is 50 books that will self-destruct by the end of 2023 should I not read them. I am in danger. If I don't read these books, Mambo will bite my face. If I don't read them, you bite me. I'll make sure she bites me because if I just turn on my printer, she goes apeshit. So goodbye. Let me know if you guys are doing this. I have seen this kind of trend going on. It was weird while I was planning this. All of a sudden, like 3 booktubers that I follow also did this video. And I feel like it's gonna look like I'm late to the game, but I'm not. I'm filming this in November, okay? So anyway, there's that. Let me know if you're doing any or which ones, if you've read these, if you're like, no, you need to read that right now. Right now, Q. Put it on your TBR right now, Q. Let me know. Cool. Cool beans. Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Ko-fi, you know the things. They're linked in the below. All that jazz. What are my arms? I don't know. Okay, bye! Demon numbers. What's up, baby? Whoa, 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 whoa. What's up, pretty bird? Whoa, 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 whoa. Pretty bird wants to fly. Where she go? Okay, bye-bye. Very, very long time. I think most of these are. Why did you fly up to the floor? Okay. That's our dumb, stupid game. Sorry. That's poop. Just stepped on poop. Just stepped on poop. Just stepped on poop. All I do is find poop with my shoeless foot. And why are you dangling on the bottom of my dress? I don't think you see it? On me bum. There's a bird on me bum. Ma'am, I would really like for you not to get crushed by books. And that is it. Those are 50 books that will self-destruct by the end. Good job, me. Wide arms is a bad idea when you're surrounded by book piles, Q.